I'm going to introduce you to a couple of leaders that I've had the privilege to work with. The first up is a very close friend of mine. He worked with me for about 3 years, and he practices in Greenville, South Carolina. I can't say enough good things about this young fellow. Graduated from Life College. Close friend of mine, Scott Timpanelli. Please welcome Scott.
Anyway, first off, I'd like to say I graduated in the fall of 1997, and this is an honor to speak here at the frat house. I'm not joking around with that. These guys, Howie and Mark, know me very well. I used to come to the frat back in like 95, 96 and see Fred Barge, Reggie once in a while, but it would be packed. Why I didn't pledge, I don't know why. It didn't come up back then. I want to make a few points today. The first thing I want to say is a little bit about me. How I became a straight chiropractor. I was really into Motion Palpation Club. Do you still have that club on campus, the students? I was really into that club because I found it fascinating that I could find a subluxation with my hands only. Now, we're not going to talk about techniques here. You know, I didn't have to check legs. I didn't have to flip this here. There's a lot of techniques. They're all good. You have to pick the technique. That's for another discussion. But what I was fascinated about it was that the founder of Motion Palpation was Henry Gillet from Belgium. Now, they called it manual medicine, and they talked about joint dysfunction and things like that. But what I was fascinated about it is that he told his patients not to speak. I don't want you to speak. Don't tell me what's wrong. I don't want to know what's wrong. I'm going to check your spine. Of course, he called it joint dysfunction. We call it vertebral subluxation. I'm going to check your spine and make a correction. So when I was halfway through school, that made sense to me. And then a good friend of mine, John Hasper, chiropractic animal, who's kind of gone off the grid a little bit, gave me a blue book. So I was about 7th quarter, and I read everything Strauss had to offer back there, 7th quarter. And as I was going through school, see, I didn't come to chiropractic because I had a miracle in my family. My family didn't go to chiropractors. I didn't come to chiropractic because I had a miracle. I didn't think I needed one. I mean, I had some back pain in my 20s. I wanted to change my career in my 20s, and I came to chiropractic through a logical choice of one of the greatest things I've ever read, about the innate intelligence of the body, healing the body, and how the spine and the nervous system, and I wanted to change my career. So at 30 years old, I came to Life College. So I had an advantage compared to someone. I didn't come from a chiropractic family which already taught you what to do or how to think. I came into chiropractic school as a free thinker. And I was going through listening to Gillet. Well, I didn't listen to him. Reading Gillet and then reading the blue books. And then my buddy John gave me all the, he made a copy. Don't tell anybody. He made a copy of the Reggie tapes. Started listening to those. So by the time I graduated, I didn't have a choice. Because once you are exposed to a truth about life, you can't go back, or you're going to have this gnawing feeling in your gut your whole life, and that's not the way to live. So when I got out of school in 1998, I practiced straight chiropractic, straight principle chiropractic, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing because back in 1998 it was scattered. The internet was just starting, and we were all in the wilderness, all scattered around, and the big guys were up in New Jersey. Joe Donofrio, Joe Strauss. You had to go to the Triune seminars, so I started going to the Triune seminars. So I want to make a couple points. And the first point is find a mentor. This is mostly for the students, but I'm finding it after 15 years of practice that I'm finding new mentors. Guys that don't even know they're my mentors, sitting up here in the front row. Howie, who started practicing after I did, is now a mentor. Of course, Mark Romano. So people are coming, everything's coming. Because of the internet, you have the greatest access to straight principle chiropractic that there ever was, especially for you students. You can get online now, and you can get advice from these guys in the front row over here for free to a certain extent now. They're going to give you some advice a little bit in a split second. Back in 1998, 1999, you had to go to a Triune seminar. And maybe try to get to Joe Donofrio, who had 20 people waiting to ask questions. And don't ask him a stupid question. Okay? So things are different now. You have a great, great, great opportunity. Second point I want to make. Practice the way you want to practice. This is for the students. what I've discovered in 15 years is that patients leave us for their own reasons. They come to us for their own reasons, and they leave us for their own reasons. So I always said when I got out of school, why not just, I put a box on the wall, and not knowing what the heck I was doing, I just threw the box on the wall and I kind of winged it. Read some of Mark Romano's early triune articles, whatever I could read, and just kind of winged it around with it. But I practiced the way I wanted to practice, and that's the way to do it. If you, and this is mostly for the students also, I wish we had more students here. If you know that every man, woman, and child needs to have their spine checked weekly for life, minimum, then straight chiropractic membership practice is the only way to go. It's the only way to go. And now's the time to do it. You know, if life graduated 300 people at this quarter and 200 came out, now you want to get chiropractic out to the world. Everybody has this grand vision of every man, woman, and child getting their subluxations corrected weekly for life. You take Blue Cross? You have Blue Cross? Put them on the. Hey, whoa! I can pull the neck a little bit, traction. Come on, what are you saying to the patient subconsciously? You're saying you're just another treatment. So now's the time to do it. Now's the time to do it. The last thing I want to say, because we're going to get chiropractor Howie up here next, is I had a few points I was going to make now. I teach at Greenville Tech 2 days a week, anatomy, physiology. I've been doing that for 6 years part-time, phasing out of it slowly because I want to see more people in my office. And what I've come to realize, this vision we have of every man, woman, and child getting checked for weekly is a little harder than we think. Because see, everybody in this room thinks alike. Mostly, we're vitalistic. We know that life comes from the inside out. But when you have 50 people in your room that are going to be nurses and doctors, and you know, they're in the medical profession, I've come to realize that we need to give ourselves a break. And this is for me. Because I beat myself up sometimes when people don't follow the care plan, even after 15 years. And we need to give ourselves a break, number one, because when that person leaves our office, they are inundated by outside thinking. Inundated. Every single move. It's worse than we think it is. It's worse than we think it is. Because I have these people in that room, and because I teach according to the textbook, but I always have a vitalistic component to it, always throwing some things out there. It's tougher than you think. And the second thing is we have to give them a break. We have to give our patients a break all the time because a lot of it's not their fault. They're brought up from little babies. You know, they're brought, you know. And Joe Strauss is I love the way, because I'm not anti-medicine. Matter of fact, I don't even bring up, and you guys might get mad at me about this, I don't even bring up what medicines they're on. And it's not my job. And in fact, if they can get out and talk about their medicine, they can come to a different understanding. Because sooner or later, we all need medical care. Good friend of ours last week had to go to the hospital for a good membership guy. Membership chiropractor had to go to the hospital last week. I just found out yesterday, you know. So it happens to us all, you know. So we have to give ourselves a break. This is an ongoing lifetime process. And this is why I love being a straight chiropractor, because I'm never done learning and becoming a better person, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Okay, so anyway, I don't know if Mark wants to introduce chiropractor Howie. He's going to come up here, but I got to tell you, I worked with Mark Romano for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. It was an awesome experience. Verona, Mississippi, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So when I left in the fall of 2003, chiropractor Howie came in, and all chiropractor Howie did, it was a beautiful thing. It's like the baton, you know? I was running. Howie just came, he grabbed the baton, and he built the volume up even more. Chiropractor Howie. All right, thank you guys. All right, thank you very much.